This is Cinetreats. I'm here with Macbeth, and today we're going to be looking at Batman vs. Superman. I've seen this before.
I have not.
Yeah.
We own this. I have not seen this.
I was one of those people that was excited to see it because it's the beginning of the Justice League. Get to see the Justice League. It's the beginning of the Justice League. I can ignore what happened in the previous movie because technically this is the sequel to the Superman with General Zod, the whole head snapping thing. I needn't say more other than that's extremely out of character. But I was still excited anyway. And we get a new Batman and see what they do with it and whatnot. And I'm going to try and keep the beginning spoiler free for your sake.
I appreciate it.
But none of these Couch for Twos are meant to be spoiler free. If anything, this movie has Hans Zimmer at the wheel as composer, and I'm like,
that's always a win.
Yep.
That's always a plus.
I will have something to enjoy throughout the whole movie.
If nothing else, it will be enjoyable to listen to.
Yes! And immediately, I'll probably talk about this, like actually on the couch, immediately I'm like, and then Hans Zimmer's name, I'm like, yes. This will do nicely. What do you know?
Well, I had somebody explain to me that the Luthor of the film is not OG Lex Luthor. That's actually I heard his dad. So this is son of Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately gave it a little more leeway in my mind, building up nerve to see the movie because, I thought they had ruined Lex Luthor and instead, no, this is his son. Okay, all right.
Right.
All of that, phew, okay, I don't have to worry about that baggage.
It's an interesting way to get around gripey fans.
It worked for me.
And
I haven't seen it yet, but it's worked encouraging me to go watch this movie now, is that, oh, okay, all right, one of my major hang-ups is now...
If there's an actor on screen that I like, it is Lex. He is so much fun to watch. He goes from being subtly manipulative to really creepy to really psychotic to I kill your mother. But it seems very progressive. It doesn't seem out of from square one. He seems a little
askew.
I was going to say traumatized.
Oh.
If your dad was Lex Luthor, you'd be traumatized.
Yes, I would.
So,
yep, yes, I would. Absolutely.
Yeah. So on that end, yes, I feel like he has a very good established character for who he would be. Not to mention has one of the coolest scenes.
I will say, my family's a big comic book family, so I paid very close attention to what accuracies to the comics they carry over. And ethnicities and looks like that are very important to me. I thought they made at least a halfway decent pick for Diana, for Wonder Woman. They've got the flowing raven hair. She doesn't look like a twig. She's got those nice athletic muscle groups that show you that she can actually do something.
Yes.
Instead of a heroine who looks like a twig.
Lois
Lane. I'm sure we'll get to that. So I'm very excited to see a realistic Amazon warrior kicking butt.
So expectations from me, I expect to be a little disappointed. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed going in and seeing it a second time, knowing the things that I like are good, that maybe they're not going to be so good this time around, except for Hans Zimmer. Just because it's been a while. It's been a minute. I do know that Batman scene that I was talking about is still...
I'm looking forward to the action scenes. I'm looking forward to seeing this son of Lex Luthor and this descent into madness I keep hearing about. It sounds like it'll be a fun little trip. But mostly the action, the fight scenes. I want to see them show off.
This is the introduction into the Wanda movies, as well as the rest of the Justice League universe, except for, Aquaman, because they totally don't do anything with him in this one, but whatever. Whatever! He gets his own movie!
Yeah.
And it was good. Sorry, we're big Aquaman fans. Nobody gives him enough credit. And on that note, we're going to end it here. So, we'll meet you back at the end of the movie. I know a lot of people, including you, had a bit of an issue with this beginning when I described it. But I like Thomas taking charge. It's not something that I've seen before because he's always a very passive person. And in this universe, it makes a whole lot of sense. There are different versions of Thomas Wayne too. There are versions where he ends up as Batman and those would be gritty. Right. Because, he's the gun. This part here where he gets in front of them, that makes sense. He gets in front of Martha, he gets in front of Bruce, he's trying to talk the guy down, de-escalate the situation. And to be fair, we don't get to see that part, so he could have. Right, he could have been just saying, hey, you can have my wallet, and the guy freaked out. That's normally about what happens. And telling him. But see, he's got the fist. He was definitely trying to. And I'm sorry, but you're not gonna win against a gun. Oh, well, that's not necessarily the point. Shotgun porn? Not shotgun porn. Case porn. Bullet porn. Bullet porn. This bit here with the pearls is kind of artsy looking. Yeah. This piece is just... It's called Beautiful Eye, too. It's beautiful. I do like the juxtaposition in his parents falling with him falling down the shaft. Oh, now they're just twisting the knife. I'm okay with the twisty knife. Because, like I was saying earlier, they have to squish Batman everything into the singular movie. So yeah, I'm okay with them twisting the knife so you can get the feel for his anguish. And then it goes weird. Which I suppose this part is to kind of further show that there's a foil between him and Superman, because he totally does this whole... Yeah, no, it goes full on Jesus. The resurrection and the new rebirth and... Okay. So there's so much Jesus. They don't actually believe you. They want you to believe that is, this is totally a metaphorical semi-dream sequence type. That whole bit was metaphorical. Bruce is on some really great drugs in this movie. I like this too, because we get to see him be involved not only in shit that's going on in a city that's not his. Yes, he is quite old in this one. But because he's going to one of his buildings in Metropolis. Okay, yeah, see, I like stuff like that. When they do have to do crossovers, whether it was in the animated series or whatever, whenever they do crossovers, showing that Bruce is like a megacorp. He's everywhere. Yes. And with Metropolis being as big a city as it is, he totes has his own building. Absolutely. They're so dedicated that he has to call them to say, hey, we need to evac the building. Let's have the building, there's a catastrophe. Okay. This is piggybacking off of the previous movie, because the previous movie's climax is what creates the issue in this one. Because this is technically the sequel to Man of Steel. Blah-de-blah.
So in this one, they're showing him having previously been completely unknown and unrelated to what's going on.
That he was there.
And he was there when she, which is kind of cool.
And this, because the whole thing is that it's Batman versus Superman. So this is establishing why Bruce has such a hang up against against Superman.
Oh.
And how can people be okay with a being that can cause this level of chaos and death?
Even when he doesn't intend to.
Yep. Because he's not mean to it. It's what
You didn't get out of the building.
No.
Creator of heaven and earth, have mercy on my soul.
So much Jesus. I'm a pony.
Why is there always a horse walking out of the fog?
Oh my god, I can't move my leg.
He might need the knees, but he's probably okay. No, he's not okay?
He's not okay.
You know what? We're gonna find your mom.
Where is she?
Oh, no.
Knife. No. Twist. And you can see the hate. They have to twist the knife.
I mean, it's one of those things that is hard to address when you're doing Superman. It's one of the reasons I have a hard time liking Superman stuff. They either don't address it at all, or they have to make him super overcompensate every single thing that he does. So weird.
It's a comic book movie, you don't need to be specific. Actually, it's just a movie in general, you don't need to be specific. Guess who?
That'd be Lois. Absolutely Lois. You know, somewhere she shouldn't be.
And,
I'd go over her
and guess who? Who's always with Lois?
Jimmy.
Yeah, they want to pay homage to his character. Just watch. Homage.
I was gonna cook. Surprise you.
He legitimately looks different with the glasses.
I will give the props for being able to turn the same actor from Clark into Susan back again. Yep, because it's not always an easy thing to do.
You're going to flood the apartment.
See, I've always endeared to Clark more when he's a big doofus. He's not just acting like a doofus, but he actually is a big doofus.
That does have something to do with the actor playing him.
Yep.
A little bit. But they do a good job with it. And I honestly wish that we got to see more of Clark. Yeah. I'm probably going to say this a bunch of times. If you were the son of Lex, you would be a little neurotic.
A little bit. He definitely has the vibe of technically doing what his father wanted him to do, just not in the spirit that his father wanted him to do.
Would you step into my office here? Yes.
Sorry, if a villain has a harpsichord, they're already...
Harpsichord villains are superior?
Yes! And then you have organ. And then there's nothing. Well, I suppose at the choir is above organ. And then if you have all of those, you're just at the tippity top.
That's a Wilson.
I know! Lex is the only one having fun in this movie.
Crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water wet.
Why are we covering this?
Alright, he does make a good parry. I'll give him that.
I know.
Absolutely.
That should be upside down. And we know better now, don't we? The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
He feels so rushed. The whole movie ends up feeling rushed.
I feel like there would be more time to appreciate the Lex that they've built. But the entire time, the bits that I think they should slow down and put emphasis on are cut off.
I do have a problem with, like, in particular this shot. I know this movie is focusing on Martha for a reason, but they tend to cover up Thomas. And
putting more emphasis on one parent over the other is fine, but them like literally using the flowers to cover up his name on the headstone is not cool.
Bruce would not have.
He loved them both equally and dearly.
Yes.
What a totally convincing bad monster.
And that.
It didn't even look like Man-Bat.
No, I'm just making a joke.
Oh. I hope the next generation of Waynes won't inherit an empty wine cellar. Not that there's likely to be a next generation.
I'll give Alfred this one. He's got the appropriate level of snark.
Has a really good Alfred voice too.
I like that face. He's like a puppy who's confused by something. Oh?
He ruined Zeus's plan to destroy mankind, and for that he was given a thunderbolt. True!
Poor Diana. I feel really bad for her right now. Rich man, megalomaniac, is lecturing on her people's history.
And I am... no. No, what am I? What was I saying? No. The bittersweet pain among men is having knowledge with no power, because that is paradoxical, and,
Wrap it up, we need to take a break.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming.
We skipped a groove there somewhere.
Cause he doesn't have the power that he wants to have at this point. And if we go back to traditional Lex, he gets really ticked off when people try to take that from him. And in this one, the whole first half of the movie is people trying to take it from him. So him getting like, I love how Clark is still confused, like,
Right, he's so...
Dude, I swear I hear a voice. That back.
That's one of the things I was legitimately excited about, is finding out who they were going to pick for Wongi. And I was not disappointed. I thought I was going to be. I really did. I thought it was going to be...
You have to hit the mark, and they hit it. You know, she's fantastic.
Straight up neon white Caucasian, you know, that they had to, you know, take a few extra steps to, first picture I saw of her, she's got the muscle mass, you can see, you know, like, Asha, and dark curly, you know, Greek features, and
Tuck that away. Here we are with final thoughts on Batman vs. Superman. I was disappointed and not disappointed. I was disappointed in how not disappointed I was. Yes. Lex was not as good as I remember him, but the movie was not as bad as I remember it being. But I didn't have a low opinion in the movie in the first place, so it kind of plateaus out to, it was fun to watch. It has its issues. You'd paint the Vatican with all the Jesus symbolism in the movie. Holy crap. It has the typical DC problem of grunge. Everything's got to be serious. Everything's got to be dark. You can't see anything.
No one's allowed to be happy.
No one is allowed to be happy except for that one time where they have sex in the bathtub.
That's the best part. That's the best Superman part. I say it's the best Superman part.
Clark,
It's the best
Clark.
Clark part.
Yeah. And Wandy's back.
The best part of that
Diana
movie
was
for me.
nice. Lex didn't have enough screen time.
He really didn't.
He needed more screen time to showcase more of the smart of him, the businessman of
And
him.
less of the cuckoo clock.
They did a lot of the cuckoo clock, and he is definitely having the most fun in this movie. Absolutely having the most fun in this movie.
Everyone else is miserable except for Wanda when she's fighting Doomsday.
She looks like she's having the time of her life.
And Lex. They're the only two having any amount of fun in this entire movie, and that's depressing.
Yeah. It's not fun to watch. Yeah, you can have depressing, but my God, take a lithium shit. Okay. So, what did I think fairly average of this movie? It's not the worst DC movie I've ever seen. It's absolutely not the best. Pretty average for me. What do you think?
I'm not gonna watch it again. I love the music, but I can listen to that without watching the movie. I love the Wandy bits, but I could just go watch Wonder Woman. I love the Arkham Batman bits, but I could just go play Arkham video games. Like, there is nothing in this movie strong enough to convince me to watch it again, even though it was, for parts unrelated to the plot, a fairly enjoyable movie at the time. It was kind of almost, bad movie night for me. Or yeah, I'm eating popcorn and laughing at bits, but not because it's a good movie. Definitely not because it's a funny movie. Or at least not intentionally. It's not intended to be a funny movie.
There's some bits that are supposed to be a little,
Alfred's snark.
I love Alfred's snark. Alfred! We forgot Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred's the tippity top. And they bring stuff that is a part of his character in the comics to the big screen that a lot of people forget, and I praise this movie for it. I praise it.
Yeah.
It's so good to see Alfred be the mechanic, the tinker, that he does actually A, know how to use it, and B, knows how to make it.
If they did three things in this movie right, they got the right composer, they did Alfred some justice, and they did a perfect Wonder Woman.
Which led into the movie. Which led into Aquaman, which was also good. Which led into Justice League, which was not as good.
I will give them a handful of points specifically for those things. A little bit extra for the Arkham scenes. I'd say a 4.6. Yeah. Not watching this again.
Wow. Okay. I would give it a 6.4. I do not think that low of this. But my scale of DC movies is probably vastly different than yours. So, we take somewhere in the middle, like a 5.7. 5.7. 5.7 final Cinetreat street score for this movie is a 5.7.
Hey guys, Cinetreats here. I bet you're wondering why I'm here instead of finishing the rest of the Couch for Two. When we sat down with the Couch for Two, it was with the theatrical version. We had a bit of a technical snafu, and that's all we had to watch. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. What I'm editing with is the extended cut, which is as close to the director's cut as we're ever gonna get. And it is so vastly different than the theatrical cut. I am stopping editing because I feel like I'm not even watching the same movie, and the thoughts that we'd have and the thoughts that we had would be completely different if we sat down with the actual extended cut as intended. Now, I don't have enough time to sit down and do it again, and I wanted to give you guys something to watch, so I'm going to show you what I've already edited. But I will say this: if you have never seen this movie, and even if you hate it, like hate its guts, go watch the extended cut, because my God, it fixes so many issues, especially with pacing. And it still has its general flaws of too many plot lines and too many cutaways and the whole dream sequence in the middle with Apocalypse Batman that doesn't really need to exist. But it fixes a lot of problems. And for me to stop editing a review because this is so much better than what we watched, I feel like that dictates putting something on there and saying that, yeah, you should go watch this. It's that worth it. I also wanted to say, if you can't tell, I haven't been feeling so well lately, and it turns out that I have to have some emergency oral surgery done on the 27th. Unfortunately, that means that I'm not going to be able to record for an unknown amount of time. I'm not sure how long, and I'm going to start recording as soon as I can. But any new content that I wasn't able to record before my surgery isn't going to be out on time or at all. I haven't made a decision yet on it. I suppose that depends on how I feel after the surgery happens. So I will be putting placeholders to where they should be, and if you see this message, then I still have not recovered from that, and there will be new content, like for realsies soon, I promise, but there is going to be a bit of a pause, and I feel bad about that, but I can't talk if my mouth isn't, up to snuff. So stay safe, stay sweet, and remember,
Alfred. Look, I'm sorry for listening in, but I've tracked the Russians' phone to a warehouse near the port. You're locked onto it.
I don't deserve you, Alfred.
No, sir, you don't.